about this time a year ago, I met Bobby, and he invited me to come to church here, and I was very hesitant. I remember saying very specifically to one of my friends, I'm never going to church. I won't like it. I'm just going, he invited me. It's the nice thing to do. And I was going through a hard time. So I was like, I'm going to try all the avenues of fixing yourself. Like you go through breakup, you get bangs, and so this is like my bangs, I guess. And I even, one of my friends, the first things I said to her was, I don't pray. She had been asked to do a prayer in a club, and she looked at me and I'm like, I don't pray, And so this was like very out of my element. And then I went to church that first day, and with a bunch of people who didn't know me. Bobby didn't know me. The only person I knew was one person in my youth group. Very briefly, I knew her name, and that was about it. And so, but I just, for some reason, felt very at home. Like, even with a bunch of people I didn't know, sitting in the front row, I didn't even know what communion was. So I felt very at home, and I think that's really why I just kept coming back. And then over time, started to realize it was more than just knowing what was going on and having my own relationship. Immediately when I started going to church, I told my step-grandmother, who I originally went to church with, and she was ecstatic. She's very quiet, not very opinionated lady. She half the time doesn't know what's going on, but she's very kind and very, she's a very nice person. And to me, she's always embodied what I thought a Christian was. Not necessarily who I saw and who said they were Christians, but she was like, when I read the Bible and I remembered those little hymns we'd sing as kids, she was the person that always came to my mind because she was always kind and loving, and you never felt like you were an issue or a problem to her. And so that's my grandmother, Mitzi. So immediately she was such a light, and I could come to her house and we play rummy. We play just like a card game and stuff like that. And I would come up to her and we'd just talk while we were playing rummy. And I don't know if she wanted to hear what I was saying or if she just liked that when I talked, I suddenly started losing in the game. But I would get on a tangent and start talking, and next thing I know, I'd be having this deep philosophical conversation with her about what it means to go to church and everything. So that was a big deal. And then going to youth, Jolene, who's going to be baptizing me, she was like a mom to me in that situation, and just was always there. And if I had something and this person's being really mean, or I really screwed up and I don't think God's gonna love me, she was always like, you did screw up, but God still loves you, and all that. And then just my mom and everyone like that, she always come home and have to listen to me beg her to come and wake up in the morning to go to church with me. One thing that this is gonna sound different than what someone else may say, but I got off social media. I stopped looking at Christian TikTok and Christian Instagram and things, because I would see those things from the people who claim to be Christians, and I'm like, is this what I'm representing? Is this what I'm getting myself into? And it wouldn't be that positivity, but then I'd sit down and I'd talk to people, and I went to camps and I talked to the people around me and really made those connections. And I was like, it just kind of made sense. One day I just popped up, and I knew it was the decision that a bunch of people in my life were ready to do. On Mother's Day, my mom was like, what's your present, getting baptized? Are you getting baptized? Is that my Mother's Day present? I'm like, no, so there was definitely those people who wanted me to, but I just wanted to wait until it was the right time. Pastor Luke once said to me, he's getting baptized is like moving from being engaged to married. When you're a Christian and you're saved, that you want to have that relationship with God, but you still haven't made that final step. You haven't moved in together. You can still get in a getaway car and run away, but getting baptized is that feeling of just making that commitment and knowing that it's going to be hard and there's going to be challenges, and there will still be times where I'm I don't feel like a Christian, or I made a decision that doesn't make me feel like a Christian. But then, over time, you make those amends and you take the time to sit down and work on your relationship, go on little God dates and pray and do your Bible study and things like that. Out of all the decisions I've had to make at this age, this has been the easiest one for me. And I think that's kind of what pointed me towards it. I prayed for God, if this is the right decision, he's going to be biased and say it is. But if you think this is the right decision for me right now, then give me peace in this situation. And that's what I pray about a lot is I'm like, this situation makes me so anxious. Talking about my faith and inviting people to church makes me so anxious. And I'm like, if you know that this is something that's going to benefit me, then give me that peace, and I'm going to go against what I feel and what I may think and push past it and do what I need to do. And he just gave me that peace. I just hope that me getting baptized, especially at this age, just shows people that you're never too late to make that decision for yourself. You're never too far gone, is something they said at Camp Alive. Like, you're never too far to start going to church and to start having those conversations and having those questions. Hi, my name is Abigail Hicks, and I want to follow Jesus.